Welcome to BMG. This is a Star Wars RP server, if you haven't noticed. We have events every single day. The events range from full-on assaults, hostage rescues, and excavations, and many, many more. Fun fact, this is also the server where I record my Journey of Clone Wars story series. If you want to know what your experience will be on the server, here's a sneak peek. When you first spawn into BMG, you are greeted with the text, "Don't leave without getting trained," just like any old other Star Wars RP server. When your instructor does come in, he will show you the different server rules, how to change your name, the other in-character rules, and the faces, the ranks, the different server media, the different firing lines, the downloadable content, and the one and only golden rule, never shoot another brother. Now, when you do become a clone trooper, you are free to explore the Venator. These are the bunks. When you first become a clone trooper, this will be what your bunk looks like. These are the legions: 41st, the 501st, the Shock, the Republic Commandos, and the pilots. This is the Citadel. This is where most of the training is done. When you first walk into the Citadel, you're welcomed with a glass that shows you the different obstacle courses waiting. You are also greeted with a Bacta tank and a Gunk droid. The Bacta tank gives you health, while the Gunk droids gives you explosives. Now, the main objective when you train in the Citadel is to shoot a bunch of droids, make sure you don't get killed or wounded, and to climb up to the very, very tippy top up there. Now this is the main hangar. This is where most of the time we leave for the events. You can see why it's a very big place. Fun fact, if you were to drop down there, you would get your character PK. PK stands for getting yourself permanently killed, and you'll have to start all over again. This is the brig. The rules you see here are for the Shock. The Shock are the police officers in the Venator, so these rules tell them what to do and what to not do with the prisoners. Now, you can see that the glass is one-way glass. On this side it looks like glass, on the other side it looks like a wall. This is a debrief room. Now, at the time of this recording, there was a debrief going on. This room is where you brief before events and debrief after events. This is the training hall. This is where some of the training is done. As you can see, there's target practice, and the floor is used for either trigger discipline, where you shoot at the wall and try not to shoot your instructor, and for formations. I also had some interviews with the different CEOs or commanding officers of each battalion, just to see which ones you would like to join if you do come on the server.
Shock on board the Venator is essentially the police force, making sure that everything stays in an orderly fashion, nothing is blowing up or people aren't shooting each other for absolutely no reason. We're essentially the peacekeepers on the ship, and we keep the peace by force.
The Jedi on the Venators are here to give the troops support and help them out, be moral support, go around, give them the power of the Force, and just help the troopers when need be. We're strong with the Force, so we're strong with helping. Really, we don't fight troopers unless troopers need our help to practice. We're not here to we're here to keep order on the ship, but we won't actively go after people, really.
We arrange our specialties into demolitions, sniping, hacking, just straight up combat tactics. Leading, especially leading, is something that every RC is learning to do. Medical training. We go on secret missions. We do things that other people can't. We do things that all the other troopers in the battalion can't do.
The 501st are the blue clones that you see shooting, and on the Venator we usually either train, sit in their bunks, or get arrested for some reason.
During missions or events, Shock's main responsibility is to make sure that everybody gets to where they're supposed to be going. Say if we need to evac, Shock are always the last one to get on the ship, making sure that everyone else actually gets on. Or if we're going to be taking off from the Venator, we have the same responsibility. We also are responsible for making sure that everybody gets to briefing or debrief and make sure that they're actually who they say they are by checking their ID cards when they first come in the room. Things like that is essentially what we do in the events, other than kill a bunch of droids when we're called upon.
The Jedi's responsibility when an event goes on is to protect the troopers, so we'll be on the front line. We also have the duty of keep giving the troopers all the support we can, and if we have the possibilities, we can take out large amounts of enemies. We will never take out clones, just enemies, when need be.
To me, I want the RC's main responsibility not just to complete the mission, but to get everybody out alive.
The first responsibility is to do whatever the hell I say, which I usually get from Wolf or Black. Black tells me to do something, I take that order, and then I give it to him, and then we do that. So really, we do whatever we're told. It's either guarding, attacking, hacking, checking, surveying, deleting, arresting, capturing, stuff along those lines.
Yes, the Shock does differ from the other battalions. Other battalions are usually just the, go down to a planet, fight the Seppies, train when you get back on the ship, things of that nature. We do that, and then we have to do all our guarding duties, our patrols, we have to deal with every criminal act on the ship, we have to deal with any investigations or any interrogations, we have to deal with any prisoners. We're essentially normal troopers, just times 3 or 4.
Yeah, Jedi differs from every other battalion, because Jedis, they are front line. We do not range. The only range we have is throwing our saber. So, saying at that point, we're also more RP-based than combat-based, because we have the Force, and the power of the Jedi is not with our saber, even though it looks cool. The power is using the Force, using our mental capacities, using the abilities we have to influence other troopers, to influence the environment, to influence enemies. It's also to interrogate prisoners if it comes to that. We are the strongest for RP, but for fighting, we don't stand a chance against ranged fighters.
Yeah, because we do things that no one else does. We can take down Sith pretty easily. We can take down heavily trained bounty hunters pretty easily. We're specialized to basically do anything that we would need to do, whether that be saving a life, hacking into a computer, scouting ahead, defusing bomb. Occasionally we get to use our stealth gear, and we can use cloaks that make us invisible and we sneak around.
Whatever might take a whole battalion of troopers to accomplish, the RC can accomplish in just a squad.
Yeah.
They're blue. And we're special. Not specialized offensive, specialized... We specialize in heavy weapons and... Special weapons, shooting and doing stuff either incorrectly or correctly. Depends. It's either really bad what we do or really good.
Well, those are all the interviews, guys. Those weren't the actual full interviews. If you want to see the full interviews, I will have a playlist of the full interviews soon. but I unfortunately didn't get an interview with my own personal commander, Commander Nike of the 41st, because he was really busy, but I will show you a few clips of him, of what he's like.
Son of a... Stop double tapping the button! Why are the people coming in there? What did I say about suppressing fire? I said, hold your fire!